how to make work more fun for your team. Now, when I start working with somebody, one of the things we talk about in our first meetings is how they want it to be to work here for their people, for their team, right? Think that through carefully. What's it going to be like to work in your company for the people you employ? And obviously, maybe not obviously, everybody always says, I want them to like it. I want them to be happy here. I want them to enjoy coming to work. I want them to feel happy and fulfilled, and often other things like safe and looked after. I certainly want my people to feel like that in my business, and I hope you do as well, right? Of course, for the obvious reasons that happy, looked after people work harder and work better, but so there's a kind of a selfish reason, but also because we're not assholes and we want to be decent bosses and decent people and have a happy work environment for the people who are here. So there's a selfish reason and less selfish, generous reason to do this. Now I'm going to focus on having fun. There's other reasons and other ways you can support people to be happy at work. I want to talk about having fun today, right? Having fun at work and with your work people is kind of part of enjoying your job, along with a host of other things like feeling valued, respected, looked after, challenged, trusted, and a whole heap of other stuff, right? And we have a framework in my coaching of like leading people and managing people, hiring people that are good kind of fit in the first place, and having a culture and fostering a culture where people support each other and look after each other and all that. So let's talk fun. How can you and how should you have fun at work? After all, we're there to work, right? So you might be a bit, counterproductive to have too much fun. Can't spend the day arsing about, can we? There's work needs doing. It's not like the office. You remember the office where all they're doing is pranking each other and stuff? We don't want that so much. There's work needs doing. So we need to strike an appropriate and workable balance. Lots of words there. Mostly work, some fun is kind of where I'm heading. Right, we want people to enjoy work, as we said, and we want people to get enjoyment from the work part of it, not just arse about all day and play games. But, right, if your people are happy at work, they work better, they work more willingly, and they stick around longer, which is important, right? We want people to stick around a bit, don't we? So we've talked about the framework of managing people so you get the best from them, right? We break the job down into hiring well, like I just said, and we talk about the culture, right? And I think fun is part of the culture. So in culture, we talked about having a great culture and helping people feel looked after, because then they want to look after you in return, right? And your business. So that reciprocality is very important. It's a powerful factor in the human psyche, and it was mentioned in a book, or talked about in a book by a great psychologist, Robert Cialdini, a book called 7 Principles of Persuasion. And Simon Sinek, who you might have heard of, talks about it now in his TED Talks and things, about how important this kind of, you did that for me, so I want to now do something for you, is very important. So look after them is my point, right? And they'll want to look after you. Now having fun's part of that, right? Foster an environment so that they feel like they can have fun, because that helps them feel looked after, and also part of something, and also helps them build relationships with the other people in your business. You should include it in your cultural plan. For now, I'm going to think of making it more fun in 2 ways, right? Creating an enjoyable environment, which I think is about you, and then some things you can actually do. Remember also, you've got 2 teams, right? You've a field team and you've got an office team. So you've people who are out there either in the world, in different places, or on your job site or site. Then you've got people in the office, either in an office together physically, or working from home, or a combination of things. Okay, so there's some complexity here. You need to try and make it fun for everybody. They all work there. So if they all work in separate places, which my team do, how do you do that? How do you bring people together? People like doing things with their colleagues. People like to meet in person, if that's possible. Silliness and playfulness are good things. People like to smile, they like to laugh. So let's start with the environment, okay? I'll list a bunch of things you can do to make work a bit more fun, and they're obviously related. So for the environment, I'm really looking at you to lead by example. Try to have fun, try to be fun, try to be fun to be near. I don't want to sound too much like Mary Poppins, although I clearly just did. But leave your troubles behind and put your game face on a bit when you go to work, right? Don't come in like a grumpy old arsehole and bring your fight with your partner or your kids to work. Don't do that, right? Make an effort to be happy and nice. I don't think you need to be a clown, but make a bit of an effort. And expect and encourage everyone else to do the same, okay? Not to mope about, all that kind of stuff. And what can you actually do to make things more fun? What actual things? Let's have a look at that. You can install something, a ping pong table, a pool table, a foosball table, a toy for people to play on if they're not working. I know I sound like some of those 90s and 2000 wankers like Google and everything. But, in a genuine sense, a breakout room or a specific room where people can go and have a break and talk to each other rather than scoffing down a coffee or a snack at their desk, or their lunch at their desk. It's quite a valuable thing, right? And it's a lot nicer than a shitty kitchen corner for people to sit in. We're encouraging people to take their breaks together. And I know that on job sites, on construction sites in particular, that's quite a common thing, right? People will sit down for smoke or sit down for lunch and eat their meal and talk. But in offices, not so much. So maybe you should encourage that. Maybe you could find a room or a part of a room or somewhere people can go and sit and have their breaks and enjoy that, rather than feeling like perhaps that's not possible. One of my clients has installed a beer keg with a tap, a cold beer keg, right? So anyone can help themselves to a cold beer. I had the same reaction you're probably having right now, right? I raised my eyebrows and I thought, Jesus, they'll all be pissed all the time. How does that work? And he said it works well. You know, people are responsible and moderation's important. People have to drive. So that message has been sent. But also, it's right in the middle of the office, kind of in public. So you're going to get called if you're going for a beer, and you need to have a reason why you deserve one. So that's become a thing for them, right? That, you know, you have to feel like you deserve one and be prepared to say why you deserve a beer. Because someone's going to go, what are you doing? Having a beer. So he says it works. Here's another one, eat together. Right? I know it's common on building sites to eat together and chat. Do you do that? Right? If you don't, or if you have multiple sites, or you have a team of maintenance trade, and people are out in their vehicles, maybe you can get people together once a month or once a week or something. Do you take people out for lunch sometimes and buy everybody lunch? I know some tradies do that. Met a few do a counter lunch on Friday, that kind of thing. So think about that. Think about eating together. Something very powerful about eating together. Very, very brings us closer. This might sound trite, but organising a cake for birthdays is a good one, right? If everyone, especially if you can be together, do a nice thing like that. Celebrate birthdays, have a cake, spend 10 minutes milling about and chatting. Encourage that kind of stuff. This is something we're talking about. We meet on Zoom, so I don't know how we'll manage this, but can you take turns to prepare and bring in a meal for everybody? One person brings in a meal for the office and feeds everybody something. Maybe their cuisine. My team are Filipino, English, and Australian, so we could compare what we like to cook. I don't know if I'm shipping food to the Philippines, but we could compare menus, right? We're still playing with ours. I like cooking, so I'm quite food related. What about playing games? A fellow business coach told me that he and his team have a daily riddle. Someone writes it on the whiteboard in the office, and everyone tries to solve it. And we've been doing that a bit. We do it in our Google group chat. We've been doing a daily joke. We're also doing Wordle. Christmas parties. Another excuses to get together, right? A party's always fun, but people also seem to enjoy other activities too, right? I said people like doing things together. So an activity outside work, in work time or outside work time is up to you, both. People like activities, not just golf. They like hikes, they like picnics. Sometimes you can combine an activity or a party or some kind with some work, like a meeting beforehand, or a meeting with pizza and beer. One builder friend of mine does a barbecue breakfast for everyone every Friday morning. They invited me once. There's no way I was getting up to be in their barbecue breakfast at 7. Right, what about an escape room? What about go-karting? Exercise and fitness. Can you get together for exercise? I've worked in companies, or I've heard of businesses hiring a personal trainer to come in and run a group fitness session one morning a week. People come in early, do some training, then go to work. If you've got a shower, that's doable. I once worked for a business that brought in a massage therapist for one day. Everyone could get a back rub or a neck rub, right? We all sat over computers like that, and we all got a shiatsu massage. Chairs where you sit and they do your neck. Everyone loved it, right? Everyone booked a slot and got a massage. So there you go. There's some ideas for what you could do to make it more fun for everybody. There's my little challenge to you is do one. Pick one and do something. Make your business just a little bit more fun. If you think you maybe don't do enough, maybe do a bit more. Maybe workshop it with your team and have a chat in your next meeting. What would they like to do? Make some decisions, commit to them, of course. Drop something in the comments or respond something back to me if you've got a great idea you'd like to share. See you later.